Survival is key if you want to be a good Viking, but you won't get anything if you don't have a home. And a real one, without leaks or holes in the walls that fits half a wild boar. That is why we have prepared this Valheim construction guide with which we will teach you how to make your base, and other constructions, in the best possible way. Build a base in Valheim to serve as protection. It may seem obvious, but first of all you need a flat and firm place to build the beginning of your home in Valheim. To start building you need a hammer that you can build with 3 woods and 2 stones. You will also have to place a workbench that will allow you to access the Valheim construction menu. The game generates its world procedurally, so that no 2 games, or 2 worlds, will be the same. It may be necessary to explore a little to find a relatively flat terrain from the beginning. Avoid mountains and very rugged scenarios, because this will not be productive in the long run. Once you have created the hoe, you can level and raise the ground to your liking. Make a good flat space to build your house. Don't be crappy and do it anywhere because then the walls will be uneven. Start building your house by placing wooden tiles. This not only makes it look good visually, but it is functional by ensuring that the soil on which you are building is level. Your first home in Valheim is probably not the last, but it is good that from the beginning you have good construction habits. Because Valheim offers unlimited build combinations, you can build whatever you want. It can seem a little overwhelming at first. As in other survival games, building houses requires putting individual pieces together. Fortunately, the game has a system that allows you to easily connect the pieces by fitting their edges. This allows the structure to be more uniform and also guarantees better structural integrity, which means that you can build taller and wider without the risk of the parts collapsing. Note, if you prefer a freer construction option, you can hold down the Shift key so you can manipulate the parts without the grid adjustment. For the parts to join, you simply need to rotate the desired part with the scroll wheel to align it, and it should automatically adjust to the nearest parts as it approaches. Understanding Valheim's structural support system. Valheim uses a structural support system that can be overlooked at first sight. However, understanding this system is key to building an adequate foundation. When joining pieces, you can notice that some sections change color before placing the new one. Most of the time they must be blue, indicating that the structure has a solid foundation on which to continue building. However, some pieces can turn green, yellow, orange or red, depending on how much structural integrity exists. When the pieces are green, it indicates strong support. You can continue building safely. The yellow pieces indicate that the structure is weakening. You can build, but it won't support much extra weight. The orange pieces indicate a very weak structure. Place the pieces at your own risk, since they can crumble at any time. Parts that are red indicate structural failures and you can't build anymore. If you attach something to a red piece, it will crumble immediately. As we have indicated above, a solid foundation is extremely important when building a house. This will ensure that you can build your base without fear that it will literally crumble by its own weight. How to level the ground in Valheim? To be able to level the land in Valheim, it is best to start building on flat land. Fortunately, Valheim provides a tool to help you. You can make a hoe on your workbench with 5 woods and 2 stones. The hoe will allow you to level the ground as long as you have resistance available. The area with which you can work will be indicated by a series of yellow circles on the floor. When leveling the ground, lower the height at your character's feet. The easiest way to make sure the ground is perfectly level is to look down and do it while you walk forward. You can also raise ground if you have 4 stones and a workbench nearby every time you want to do it. This is useful if the floor is too low and you need to take it to a certain height. How to repair structures in Valheim and prevent the deterioration of constructions. Over time, the structures will begin to deteriorate. It is usually accelerated by the climate rain and reduces the general health of each impacted piece to 50%. Enemies can also attack your base, causing damage to individual pieces. You can see the general health of each piece by equipping the hammer and placing the cursor over a certain piece. This is indicated by a small yellow vertical bar. As the parts deteriorate or suffer damage, they begin to acquire a worn appearance. This can result in a discolored appearance. Fortunately, You can repair structures in Valhem easily, and for free, by equipping your hammer and selecting the repair option in the upper left corner of any of the hammer categories. Once you have selected the repair option, simply left-click on the affected item. If it can be repaired, you only need to click once to recover its complete health. If it can't be repaired, nothing will happen. It is not a bad idea to regularly repair the elements around your base to make sure they are not destroyed. How to build and ventilate the interior fires. Fire is essential to keep warm and is required to sleep at night. While it is easy to place a fire outside the house, sometimes it is easy to have a fire inside. This protects the fire from the weather and allows indoor cooking. To light a fire inside your home, you will have to remove a tile from the floor, since they can only be built on natural soil. However, with fire comes smoke. If you have nowhere to go, eventually your home will fill with smoke and obstruct vision and can kill you. A simple remedy is to build a fireplace in Valhem to guide the fire out of the house, or simply leave a hole in the ceiling so that the smoke can pass. We hope that these construction tips in Valhem have allowed you to start creating your bases without difficulties. Experiment, try different materials, use other objects. The limit is in your own imagination, as many players have already shown.